What is up, RotoGrinders? Dean here. Dean 7 out of 4. If you want to get all technical, 2 hours of nonstop MLB DFS conversation starts right now on a Monday, on a movie Monday. It is a 10-game slate. Again, 2 hours, 7:05 first pitch. Crunch time coming in around 6:15 on the East Coast. Got chief mineralogist Kevin Roth holding it down. Weather looking pretty good. I'll go ahead and drop that in the chat. Today's weather link. We look pretty much green everywhere, yellow in Cleveland. We don't really care about that game. That game is on a different slate. We're starting at 7:05. It's myself. And as always on Monday, it's Chop. Chop, happy Monday. How are things? Are we all good?
What up, Dean? Just chilling like a villain. Trying to find this movie you recommended, but it's tough, man, because I got to figure out where I've got the Peacock at, man, because we got 50 different things to look at, and some of them are on the desktop, some of them aren't, some are on the phone, some aren't. But Dean, we had our first little week 0, little 4-game college football on this weekend. I thought it was fun. So, now we crank up the big boy season, Dean. This is the big boy week right here. All this MLB going on right now. Then we close in on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, all full college football. Going to be like, oh, wait, what's going on with this background? No. Come on, where's my background at?
I was going to say amateur hour over there, Chop. What's going on?
You know what's happening, Dean?
You're pulling a Roth. That's what Roth does.
In addition to dang, it's not picking up. In addition to everything, on Friday I do the college football show, so I got to be logged in under the RG. But I didn't want to do that for the show because then I can't guess. Because then when I guess for the movie Monday, I don't have my own voice. I'm logged in under RotoGrinders, so it's all messed up. So I had to log back. Had to get out of there. Now I'm all messed up, man. Now I got to figure out what's going on here.
Oh, I didn't know you officially host. You actually host the college football show. That's yourself and Tuttle and Jordan, right? I caught a bit of it on the Thursdays.
Yeah, Dean. We
Wednesdays, Thursdays. When do you guys record that?
On Friday.
Friday. Okay.
Yeah, Friday, and little special treat if people want to tune in this weekend. I had a specially made song just for the show, a little theme song for the show. I don't know if people want to tune in or not, but
AI
got a little something up my sleeve, Dean.
All right,
amazing what you can do with a little AI these days.
Shout out to the scores and odds team because I tailed Hawaii and was it Kansas? I think Kansas and Hawaii. They had that in scores and odds. Both those were winners. Never in doubt, Hawaii had a game-winning field goal at the last second or so. Did you happen to see Kansas State? The quarterback's father was fighting the quarterback's brother in did you happen to catch this, the post-game shenanigans over there in Ireland?
Yes, that's what happens when these guys get all drunk, liquored up and stuff. Crazy.
Now you're just doing Irish stereotypes is what you're doing there, right? Is that what's happening?
You think that the starting quarterback's brother and father walked out of that stadium and got into a big fight that was captured on video. You think that there was no liquor involved there?
I don't know how that family functions. Maybe that's just like a standard Saturday. I don't know what they do, but possibly that they might have partook in a little bit of the Guinness there in Dublin. I think they were in Dublin. I'm fairly certain they were in Dublin. They were over at Ireland, if nothing else. Choppa, I mentioned that you mentioned as far as movie. What was your Friday night movie? I'm always curious, but every Friday, unless otherwise noted, you always have a movie review.
I was dipping around, Dean, and I was like, dang, I told my wife, I was like, man, there's just really nothing new out here. I don't know if we're even going to do movie Fridays. Maybe we just catch up on a TV show or something. And then I dipped into a trailer for a movie that I totally dismissed a couple weeks ago. I'm not watching that. That doesn't sound good. But I started watching the trailer, and I'm like, wait a minute.
You're a trailer guy, Brew? I don't want to see the trailer. It's
no. Well, when you're undecided and you're like, man, I gotta find something to watch. I need to watch it, man. I need to figure out the trailer's the only way I can figure out if it's worth. I'm not gonna sit down and start watching a movie and then X out of it 20 minutes in. That's a waste of my time. I'll watch a 2-minute trailer and it'll tell me all I need to know about. So I was like, there's this movie, Dean, and I was like, oh, that trailer. Okay. That got me on that trailer. And I watched the movie, Dean. It was a solid little entertaining movie. I cannot complain. It's on HBO Max. Freaky Tales. I've never even heard that thing come out in the theaters. Never heard of it. But it dropped on HBO Max a couple weeks ago. And I looked at the poster for it a couple weeks ago, and I was like, this is garbage, man. I'm not watching this. It's like one of these things where they come chapter 1 and then they, have a segment of the movie, then it's chapter. I'm like, I'm not doing this part, man. I'm not doing this. But I was desperate, and I started watching the trailer, and I was like, wait a minute. Then I watched the movie, and it got me. It's good, Dean. It's like a weird little cross between like Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I mean, certainly not.
I'm interested.
Not on that level, but there's real life, like, just not a spoiler alert, because it's pretty. Like, they got a little segment on Sleepy Floyd in there, like the night he dropped like 50 points in a playoff game or something.
The Rockets?
I'm watching it, and they've got like scenes in there with. It's narrated by Too Short, by the way.
Okay.
Right, and they've got like scenes in there, and I'm watching the scene, going, this actually happened in real life. Like, the movie didn't happen, obviously, it was way embellished, but there are little portions of this that are like based on true life, and kind of like Once Upon a Time in Hollywood vibe, but for like just Oakland underground kind of thing. I don't know. It's a good movie, man. I recommend it, Dean. It's just it's entertaining. It goes off the rails in the last scene, but that's okay. By then, you're already like, oh, this is pretty cool.
And as per the rule, Pedro Pascal's in this because he's in everything. That dude's like in everything, man.
What happened? What did he must have done something good to somebody back in.
He's just good. I think Pascal's great. Speaking of movies, by the way, we do have the first clue scrolling. First clue today for Movie Monday. You guys know how this works. Get the Discord channel. Tell me what movie I'm talking about. Get yourself a week free of RotoGrinders Premium football, baseball, basketball, hockey, NBA, all not in season, but football, very, very close. 10 days away. Tell me what movie I'm talking about. The first clue, Chop. We had a bink last show on Friday, so I am angry. I do not want another bink, so we did not make this one too easy on the first clue. It's very gettable eventually. But the first clue is land. We'll talk about the slate. I just want to Chop. Have you dove into the Cowboys 8-episode doc just yet on Netflix?
No, absolutely.
You're not interested. I'm shocked. I figured you'd be all over that.
I mean, I'm not like kind of just. I mean, I'll probably watch it eventually, but when I run out of other stuff to watch, to kill time. But it's not. Stuff like that really doesn't get the juices flowing.
I don't want to get on my. It's entertaining and enjoyable, but I don't want to get on my whole soapbox about documentaries. But documentaries now are just like the main subject is producing the documentary, so they're basically telling you like their story, like not necessarily the truth, but the best possible way. Like Jordan's documentary was Jordan producing it. He made himself look as good as possible, and it's not exclusive to him. That's what everybody's doing, and. Point is that Jerry Jones comes off looking like a freaking genius from what I've seen so far. And, he doesn't, Jimmy Johnson is the guy who orchestrated the Herschel Walker trade. And like Jerry Jones kind of takes credit for it. Yeah. Okay. I'll get off my soapbox for it, but it's worth watching. It's definitely interesting. If for nothing else, the Michael Irvin quotes are awesome. All right. We do have a 10-game slate tonight, Chop. A lot of pitching, a plethora of pitching. Spectacular pitchers taking the bump tonight, led by the greatest pitcher in the world, right? Tarek Skubal. And once upon a time, the best pitcher in the world, Jacob deGrom. That is the first two pitchers I'm seeing on my list that are, pretty interesting. I have some thoughts on deGrom. Curious to get your take. Woodruff just seems a little bit too expensive for the allotment of pitches allowing him to throw. Hunter Green, on his best day, looks like the best pitcher in the world, but he's facing the best offense in baseball. So, you're going to get an ownership bump in your favor, meaning people are not going to roster him. They're going to run away, but certainly he has a ceiling to strike out double digits. Christopher Sanchez is a good pitcher, tough matchup. Schlittler is looking like the default SP2 if you're running out of salary. As far as the offense, the Yankees have a total above 5. There's no Stanton and there's no Wells, but still they fill out a pretty solid lineup, obviously. Detroit looks really good today. They're well positioned against JT Ginn. Awesome ballpark bump, locked in for 9. I think especially on FanDuel with some of the prices, Kerry Carpenter's so cheap over there. I think Colt Keith looks like a cash game staple. Those are the 2 best teams. We'll have that conversation. I think the only 2 with the team total above 5, I'm fairly certain, is Detroit and New York. I have my cheapies. We'll talk about it. I talked about it today in the survey, and I'm curious to get your screenshot, your overview. How you seeing things on this 10-gamer?
Lots of pitching, Dean. Lots of pitching. And what that equals to, it is a zero-sum game. So what that means is if there's a lot of pitching, there's not a lot of hitting. And I'm seeing when doing my rankings pre-show was like a lot of teams in the lower categories in the tier list, but not a lot up top. So I think it's a pretty pitcher-heavy day, which means that I can go in there and kind of pick out some hitters that I really like if I can find some really good hitters. Pick out some hitters I really like, maybe a little mini stack or 2. Mini stack, very mini. I don't like any very many full stacks today. Pick out some hitters I like, and then fill in with my pitching at the end because I think it's really going to be wide open in that category in terms of all the aces up top. We're going to talk about them in a minute, but you're splitting hairs trying to figure out. I know you say Scooble's the best, but he might not be the best right now. He had a good performance last time out, but he's been giving up some big crooked numbers lately, and it just comes. That's just the ebbs and flows of the season. So he's fine, but these other guys are very competitive with him tonight in that category, and there's a lot of them. And there's a couple cheaper guys too that I really like. So yeah, it's a pitching heavy day, not much hitting. So I think you're going to have to, I would, for a 10-game slate, Dean, it is one of the times when I would recommend, I'm not recommending anything. I am probably not playing a 4 or 5 man stack. It's probably going to be much smaller than that. Everything much smaller than that.
Interesting. Well, I mean, I just think Scooball's the best pitcher in the world, right? I understand the matchup's not great. The ballpark's debatable. Not great. Who's a better pitcher than Terry Scooball right now? Name him.
I mean, I don't need. What do you mean by right now? Because
he's the best pitcher in the world now. He
pitched his ass off against a very weak Astros team last time out. But before that, he gave up 10 runs in 3-4-3. Those are.
He's a lot of bad start.
Didn't even get out of the 5th inning against the Angels.
I'm saying, who's better? It can't be Zach Wheeler.
I'd have to pull up. Well, that's not fair, Dean, because he's got a blood clot in his arm.
It's a bummer. Yeah, I don't know who else you say.
If Wheeler was 100% healthy, Wheeler's up there. I think Skeens very young. I think Skeens is very much in that conversation.
Best argument you can make, probably.
I mean, there's this. I think that statement right there that you're making. I don't think there's a definitive number one pitcher like there is some years. I think that it just every little 4 to 6 week area you can find a guy and go, oh, that's the best pitcher in the game right now. Now Scooble's been that multiple times this year, but I think he's also prone to his slumps too, and that somebody else could open the door for somebody else. But yeah, he's good. I don't know what to tell you. I just think that that's a loaded question. Who's the best in the game? Because I think it's whoever's the hottest at that very moment can be the best in the game. I think
our guy Kirky in chat is chirping in. He's going to be on later.
Crochet
with Dave Potts. Yeah. Crochet's been great too.
Excellent.
But lowest Sierra in baseball is Tarek Scooball. The second highest K rate in baseball. The only one that's ahead of him is Zach Wheeler, 33.1%, a 4.1% walk rate among qualified pitchers. That is the lowest in baseball. Again, lowest Sierra, lowest walk rate, essentially the highest K rate. I don't know what else you want from the guy. It is a tough ballpark here with the Athletics. And there's, some tough hitters, obviously, for the Athletic side as well. What I want to talk about is DeGrom. And we both wrote in the survey, it sounds like you like DeGrom. And I wrote a whole bunch of words, and I'm kind of wishy-washy on it. I'll give you sort of my TLDR on DeGrom. All right, so 37-year-old pitcher, often injured, coming back from a skip start because of what they called shoulder fatigue. Now, is that real? Was that a real thing, Chop? Because they're invested in DeGrom. That's Texas, the Rangers, for the next 2 years at $75 million. This is, I feel like, the most innings he's pitched in probably 5 seasons. They have a theoretical chance to make the playoffs, a 10% chance, give or take, if you look at the FanGraph stuff as far as predictability. So they probably think they can still make the playoffs. Maybe they just gave him a start off. His velocity is the same. His velocity has not gone down. So maybe his shoulder is just fine. They just wanted to give him an extra rest as far as his turn. So what is it? Because the matchup against the Angels is awesome. The best strikeouts in the business are righties. Also, no Mike Trout in that lineup too. So I'm a little bit torn. And I know Dave wrote about it too as well, and he'll probably talk about it later. I kind of gone back and forth on it, but he can go 85 pitches and strike out 11 against this Angels lineup and not necessarily need to throw 100. He's not going to throw 100 pitches. So what is your read on this? Because they want him to be healthy for the next 2 years, obviously. They probably still think they have a chance at the playoffs. They sat him down for a week for shoulder fatigue. Is that even real? They do that all the time. They give these guys fake, just kind of bake in some rest. And it sounds like you're in, because I know you wrote about him.
You're right about him.
Yeah, so I don't know what to do. I think I'm in, but I'm cautious. I'm cautious about being.
I just put his name down as the cash pitcher for me. I just put it. I didn't write about it. I didn't write about it, did I? Who did I write? Well, I think I wrote about Schlitter.
Calling him but yeah, that was I could have predicted that.
What?
I just probably you probably enjoyed writing about him. There might have been a pun or two in there as well.
No. So DeGrom is not like I got a ton of love for DeGrom, but I just think when you talk about aces tonight, I'm poking holes, Dean. I'm poking holes in guy Scooble in that ballpark. We've said that I can go down and with all these guys and kind of poke a hole in it. And DeGrom, I feel like 10 days off. Yeah, I don't know.
You're seeing it as a good thing or a bad thing?
Yeah, a good thing. I'd want him to on some rest. And like you said, they think they can make the playoffs. They're not mailing this thing in by any stretch. I think the extra rest that they're going to give a guy like DeGrom is so that next time he goes out, he can be locked down. Every time he steps on the mound, we're going to need him to be locked down. So we're going to give him a little bit extra. I mean, yeah, I want him coming off a 10 days rest as opposed to 5 days rest. That's always better for a guy like that. So,
well, even when they say shoulder fatigue, I don't like when they say shoulder fatigue. Or is that nonsense? They made that up.
Well, what is nonsense? That's because there's something we're going to rest his shoulder for a start.
You can't just say we're resting this guy and not give a reason. So his shoulder's fatigued. Whatever.
So do I think there's anything wrong with DeGrom? Do I think anything's really wrong? No. They got to label it something. They're not going to put rest. So, yeah, I think he's fine. I'm not buying. I'm not worried about that particular statement at all. I think 10 days rest, he's going to have a little extra life in that arm tonight, and I feel good about it.
Did you happen to see Plate IQ, Chop, and what the collective strikeout ability or lack thereof, or however you want to interpret it? This Angels lineup, no Mike Trout. Everybody is in the red with the exception of Luis Rengifo. Now, it's a little bit skewed because Kevin cracked the lineup. We love him in there because he struck out 50% of the time in a small sample. But, if you look at the projection model stuff, I know the Bats was talking about, and what was the other projection model? Zips was saying possibly up to 40% projected striking out in the majors. He struck out a ton in the minors as well. 29.9% this lineup has struck out versus righties this year. That's an insane, just a bonkers number. So I think there's a chance he throws 5 innings and strikes out 10. That's why I'm in, because I just love this matchup.
Yeah, for the active lineup tonight, Dean, I've got them pegged as the highest strikeout team on the slate, 26%, 26%. So yeah, highest on it's there.
So why not just pair Scuball and DeGrom and be done with it?
What?
And it's not that hard to make it work. That's it.
That's a little bit.
Let's move on.
I mean,
there's
all
enough
right.
cheap stuff that you can make it happen.
What if a guy doesn't want Scooble though?
Okay, then you want to play Schlittler, which, by the way, I read your blurb. How do you not make one pun? And no puns, Chop? Not one pun? You couldn't.
I'm not. This is that survey is business, Dean. That's not no pun time. All right, pun time is this show right here. This show right here is a nice freebie for the people to get them juiced up for the slate and for whoever's coming on next in the grind. So we're just
this
goofing
the guy
around.
with the knockers and
we're goofing around on this show.
Puns are fine here.
Survey, no, man. People are paying for that. That's behind a paywall. You can't be goofing around like that. So I got some Schlittler jokes in my pocket right now if you need them. But
sure, I mean, feel free to fire away. But
listen, that's a high strike. I just think his arm's going to be rest. I just refreshed the Vegas page. A three for a team total for the Angels. Like that's a good half run below everybody else.
Well, no Mike Trout. That'll
I don't think Mike Trout's moving the. Mike Trout's not moving their implied team total a quarter of a point, Dean. But yeah, 3 high strikeout week lineup. I think the arms are going to be fine. That's my cash game play. And as far as pairing with Scooble, like I don't. We're going to get into pitching in a minute, but
that's what we're talking about pitching right now.
Oh, are we? Is that what we're doing? Okay, yeah.
That's what we're doing.
I feel like okay. Let me lock those. Oh, Jesus, man.
Well, you want to give me the pitch on Schlittler?
If I go Scooble and DeGrom, that leaves me $37.50 for each hitter. Yeah, I don't want to go that route, man. I'm still pressing it because there is still, even though there's plenty of guys you could. Like tonight might be a night where
it's easy.
Tonight might be a night though where you want the Bobby Witts of the world. Maybe you need a couple. Maybe you need a couple of those guys. I don't know. Can't predict the slate. Who knows what's going to happen? I think my favorite pairing right now would be DeGrom and Schlittler. But it could. Who knows? Who knows how it's going to look when I go build this thing in an hour.
Yeah, well, I mean, I wrote about it today in the survey, and the team that's going to help me make that work and make the old double barrel work for me is Minnesota. I don't know how popular they're going to be. I think people might be afraid of Max Scherzer, future Hall of Famer, but his splits are really dramatic against lefties, and the lefties are. There's 4 or 5 lefties on FanDuel that are 2-9, and I think on DK, and they all have power of at least a 170 or 180 ISO. That's 3.6 or less. And that's how I'm doing it. It's very simple to me. I'm just playing some Minnesota stuff, shooting for some homers here against Max Scherzer. He's given up almost 2 homers per 9 this season versus lefties. I know we're talking pitchers right now, but that's how I'm making my double barrel pitchers work. I'm playing players like Cody Clemens, Wallner, Larnack, and then and those guys are all cheaper than the 3.7. So, and I can get a couple big bats if I want. And that's my lineup. That's pretty straightforward. There are 20 players drawing baseballs. Clue number 2, by the way. Let's give out clue number 2 because we're a little bit behind the clues. That's on me. Second clue, Chop. It is not, by the way, it's not Sling Blade. Somebody did guess Sling Blade, Chop. You guessed Sling Blade as well. Mashed potatoes. Check out Sling Blade if you've never seen it before. Shout out to Billy Bob Thornton. Clue number 2, Chop, is Outback. Land and Outback. That is our first 2 clues. It's not Wayne's World or Far and Away or Flight or Apollo 13. Just checking out some guesses here in the chat. Landman's a TV show. It's not Landman. And I wouldn't, come on, I wouldn't just put the word in the TV show in the first clue, especially when we're coming off a hole in one. Would never do that. That is the second clue. It's Outback. Chop, I don't know other pitchers we want to discuss. There are some good pitchers. Other good pitchers for sure.
So now what we have to do is figure out if Dean by Outback means this has something to do with Australia, or is Dean means by saying Outback it has something to do with a steakhouse, or this is so much. This is where
something that blooms, maybe.
I mean, that's where we're at right here with these clues. This is prime Dean right here. This is what happens. So studs tonight, Dean. Woodruff, man, he's been great since coming back. Don't know that I want to take him against Arizona tonight at that inflated price tag. So I can poke a hole in that one right there. Christopher Sanchez. I think Sanchez is awesome. Like I'm a huge fan. Wish he was on my team. I think he's
He's good.
awesome. He's fantastic out there. But I'm not. I know the Mets have struggled, but the lineup is still very potent, and I don't want to play around with that. So boom. The one that's not getting no love is Joe Ryan, and I'm not playing him because Toronto just does not strike out. You know, they're just that's part of their game theory. Joe Ryan, Toronto, Minnesota. Yeah, 15% as
Vlad is back.
15% as a starting lineup tonight. That is nothing. That's by far the lowest on the slate. So there's my hole in there.
The other part of that, Chop, not to cut you off, the other part of that
you just did though, brother.
Well, I mean, I just think that the lefties, there are, I think, 4. It's only 3. Okay, there's only 3. But almost 34% Ks against righties for Ryan this season, 22% versus lefties. And I just wanted to point out Dalton Varsho versus lefties this season, versus righties this season, a 430 ISO, which is just a monster number. He struck out a lot. 28.8%, but he is crushing left. It's the player nobody's going to play. I don't think
has come back from his injury stint, and he is like the ultimate. And I was running the numbers last week before the show when you actually missed last Tuesday's show, but I was running some numbers. He is the ultimate hit. You missed Tuesday's show. TJ,
did you miss me?
Oh well, yeah, pretty much. When respectfully to TJ, he's a good guy. He holds it down, but he's not a professional host like yourself.
TJ does a great job. He does a great job myself. Yeah.
But the Varsho thing to me was like, I was just shocked at how hit or miss he is every at bat. He's either going to home run for you or he's going to do it. But he's homering so much. So since his return from the injury. So yeah, I get that part of it. Okay, back to what I was poking holes in, guys. Joe Ryan. Hunter Green. I love Hunter Green. I think he's changed some stuff this year. Phenomenal, becoming a real pitcher. But the LA Dodgers at home, these numbers are ridiculous, Dean, in LA. Like they lead the major leagues in power at home. I'm not saying they're
just a coincidence, I'm sure.
You brought it up. I didn't say nothing. I just giving you numbers. They're the most.
But you're alluding. You've alluded on previous shows. I listen.
It is supposed to be a pitcher's ballpark, more or less, and they lead. They're the most prolific home run hitting team at home. So, do I want Hunter Green? Probably not. That's a little bit scary. These guys at home, because they're putting up better numbers at home than they did when they went to Coors Field. It's crazy.
What if you were playing 20 lineups though? Wouldn't Hunter Green be at least in a 1 or 2?
100% if I was multi-entering. Yeah, but yeah. I'm one lineup guy tonight, so I gotta find ways to whittle it down when you play like that. So that leaves me in that elite range with Jacob deGrom, and then we move on to that mid range where you do find my favorite being Cam Schlitter, because a lot of different things, man. You know what I'm saying? The matchup and he's got good stuff. What is he? He's had some big time performances. I think the stuff is there. Yeah, he's coming off of a 29-point game at Tampa, who is a small ballpark, so he can definitely navigate at home here against Washington. Get around those 2 lefties at the top of the order, and that's about it. You're stacking against Max Scherzer, but he's the other guy in the mid range. I won't play him, but he's the other guy that I think has been solid enough that I could play him tonight if I felt the need to.
Mini stacking more likely. I'm just using those lefty guys like to kind of it's power hitters that are cheap that have upside that and Max has been vulnerable to lefty power this year. I don't necessarily love the Twins as a whole. Like if you're playing, I would only play Buxton in a full stack, that kind of thing. But I pulled up Varsho's numbers since we were talking about it. He's got 0 home runs this year versus the lefties, nothing left on left, and 137 plate appearances, 125 official at bats. How many home runs does he have? 125 official at bats? 15. Yeah, he's just absolutely pummeling. He's striking out a lot, 40 strikeouts, but when he hits it, he doesn't get cheated, like you said. He's swinging hard. Do you think he's kind of interesting as a tournament play? Worth noting, by the ownership stuff, DeGrom 37% on DK, Skewball 33, Max 19, which again, I love that. I think Max is fine too for tournaments, but I'm just coming at it from the other side. Your boy Schlittler at 17%, Woodruff at 15. I do agree it's just a little bit too expensive for probably not the best But 86 pitches is what we're expecting as a medium number. I'd much prefer to play Sanchez or Green. I think they have more upside. And then, like, I guess the salary saver, not that he's amazing, but he's usually, like, okay. Jose Soriano shouldn't be 5'7" on DK, right? He should probably be 7K-ish. A little bit of disrespect there. I don't know if I need it, but I think if you have to full-on punt, I think Soriano is the pretty clear full-on punt. Would you agree with that? Is there anybody else who can – like, McGreevy's got a good matchup. Just the K is like there's no K upside. But I guess he should be fine from a run prevention perspective.
Did you know Texas at home is dead last in Major League Baseball in total bases at home per game?
Are they reverse cheating? Are they cheating on the road?
Well, some would say, not me, Dean, not me. Some would say the whole 2023 title is tainted because it was a complete anomaly of offense that they showed in that title run. And now they're back to what they are. But as far as this year is concerned, total bases per game at home, they are dead last. Like, you think about all the inept offenses out there in big ballparks. You don't think Texas, but they are. So yes, I think the guy who starts against Texas when they're in Texas, it could be in play if he has any kind of strikeout ability at all.
Anything else of note as far as pitchers? Did I miss somebody? I should have mentioned FanDuel as well. Skubal coming as the most popular pitcher over there. Just the difference in price is not that much, is sort of the way I'm seeing it. You know, Skubal was like 11.5 or 12K. He's 10.8, which is essentially the same as Green at 10.4. DeGrom's 9.9. So you get one more hitter, I suppose. Most popular is going to be Skubal and DeGrom, basically neck and neck, and they're going to be 50% of the pool on FanDuel. And there's so many good hitters on FanDuel. They're like 3-1, 3-2. I don't know how much below you have to go, Skubal and DeGrom. Like, you certainly can. If you want to play some Sanchez or Green, I guess those guys could be the top pitcher, raw points wise. But your boy Schiller, I guess, if you want to get Aaron Judge, that kind of thing, I guess he's the guy. It's cheap enough. 8-4 against Washington, not a team we're afraid of. He's shown reverse splits. I'm not sure how real they are. It's not a big sample, but it is just of note. 26.4% Ks versus lefties this year, 22.4 versus righties. And again, it's all small sample stuff, but all the power he's essentially giving up has been against righties. And the two best hitters for Washington are left-handed. But again, I don't know how real this reverse stuff is anyway. Anything else you have here, Chop, as far as pitchers before we talk about some tiers and some stacks?
I'll throw the name Emmett Sheehan out there just because, even though it's in LA and I just mentioned the power for the Dodgers at home, which makes the ballpark look better when it's really not. Cincinnati's just, believe it or not, Dean, they've just been a very inept offense this year. Even though they play in the best home run hitting ballpark by measurements. That should be the best home run hitting ballpark in the majors. And even with that, their power numbers are dreadful. So I think Sheehan could be in play, but that's about where I would draw the line right there. So we can move on, but I do want to give some love to the chat, Dean. There's a lot of guys out there. Kirky made an appearance earlier. Buttho's in the house. Buttho, what up? I was just watching a little Eastbound and Down the other day.
Okay. Yeah. Eastbound and Down. HBO show.
Butthole reminds me of that. Eastbound and Down, Kenny Powers. But Mardon's in. He's a friend of the show. He's always Derek's hanging out. So everybody's in chat, hamming it up on this Monday, Dean.
Have you seen this Big Sugar, 6'7",
yes.
like 280? He's got a little Kenny Powers in him, doesn't he?
Wish that guy was on my team. That guy throws 102, yes. Man.
Yeah. He's like 275, and I'll take the over. That's what he's listed as. He's got a whole look. He's got the goggles. I sent you the.
I want to throw a name, throwback name for you, Dean. Guy kind of vaguely reminds me of a little Charlie Kerfeld. I don't know if you remember that guy.
Charlie Kerfeld.
Oh, you don't know Charlie Kerfeld?
Braves, maybe?
No.
Philly?
The chat knows Charlie. I know somebody knows Charlie Kerfeld. He was a shooting star, man, for a very short amount of time. He was a dominant reliever. but it was
Houston
short-lived.
Astros, of course. Yeah.
Short-lived, man. He had the goggles working, big old fat boy, man. He was good stuff, man. Charlie Kirkfield.
Looks like he's. First thing I see is like an 87 Donruss card or something like that. So I guess I don't remember the name for whatever reason. It is lost on me. All right, let's drop the third clue here for Movie Monday. No winners just yet. Awesome guess, by the way, in the chat. Some not successful, but some good guesses here in the live stream chat. That's the only way you can win. Glass Onion was a good guess using that Outback clue, but it's not. It's not Glass Onion, nor is it Kangaroo Jack or Beast of War or Aaron Brockovich. The third clue, it is scrolling right now. It is monkey. So land, Outback, and monkey. That is our first three clues. Be the first to tell me what movie I'm talking about. Get yourself a week free of RG Premium, all the bells, all the whistles, the optimizer, SimLabs, all the goods. All right, let's talk about, we got to talk about today's tiers, today's tier category. And Chop, you made the tier category. I didn't even ask you. This is how much I trust and know you've done it. I didn't even bother you throughout the day. What is today's tier category? I don't know what it is. I'm going in cold.
Man, Dean, I went off the charts on this one. I went way out in left field.
Okay.
Because I wanted to pay homage to there's very few, like, I don't get too excited for the UFC unless there's like something crazy going, like a crazy good main event or something, And we had one recently with a title fight with Hamzat Chimaev. And I don't know if you're familiar with the UFC, Dean.
He's the guy that has the headgear?
No.
That's not him?
No.
I'm vaguely familiar. I've probably seen him before, but anyway, this isn't my wheelhouse.
Yeah, Duplessis, whatever his name. Like, it was a great build up to the fight. And it was just pure domination. Chimaev just dominant. So I wanted to pay homage to that. And there he is. Steve's got him pulled up. So that's him. He's a dominator. He's awesome. He's good. He won the title. I mean, won all 5 rounds by a pretty wide margin. So what I did, Dean, I want to rank. This was a tough one, Dean. I'm not going to lie. I wanted to rank Chechens, famous Chechens.
Okay.
He's from Chechnya. He's like, you don't see very many of them. And he's from Chechnya, and he's the heavyweight, or he's the middleweight champ of the world, whatever he is. The champ of the world. And so, I wanted to, you can Google, Dean. It's still tough. It's tough to find these guys, but I had to dig deep on this one, Dean. I had to dig deep on this one to find some Chechens. They're not Chechenians, they're Chechens. Guys.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's the tier list today.
I got nothing for you. Is the chat throwing anything in there?
Exactly. This is when you put your big boy pants on. When you do a tier list like this is when you put your big boy pants on right here. So I'm bring up the board here for you, Dean. Number 1, easily, NoHo Hank Barry.
That's pretty good. Yeah, that's a good call. I like that one.
Gotta do that one. Gotta have NoHo in there. I know Kirky likes that, even though he's probably not watching right now. Then Chimaev, number 2. Sure. I mean, if you guys haven't seen Barry, that's the best character in the show. Barry is NoHo Hank. He's the best.
Probably. Yeah, probably.
Chimaev, he's the champ of the world now. Going to put him in there. I like his style. That gets me. That'll get my money on a pay-per-view is a guy like that. All right. Better beef. He's a boxer from Chechnya. He was really good, Dean. He's like 22-1, 20-1, something like that.
I remember Butterbean. That's a totally different guy.
No, this is a different guy. Better beef. Better Biev. Something like that. I can't. And then
you realize you're going to be pronouncing these the entire time. You're setting yourself up.
Then we just get into like, man, I don't even know what the hell. Like, this is tough. So, all those Chechens that were the bad guys from Homeland in 24, those are down there. And all those Chechens from John Wick that were bad guys trying to kill John Wick, those are in tier 5.
Was that Boban? Was Boban a Chechen or no?
I don't think Boban's from Chechnya.
Well, did he play a Chechen? I don't know what he. I don't think he was nationality.
Who knows? Maybe he did. So maybe that's it. But I know there were some Chechen gangsters in John Wick. So whatever. Well, that's how we'll round it out, Dean. Because I don't want to offend nobody and I don't want to put no political guy down there. And then all of a sudden we got a World War IV breaking out in chat, man. So I go with the bad guys from those shows.
Yeah, I'm pulling up to see if and I've never seen 24 before. Is that something I should see? I think it's coming back as well. I think they're rebooting that, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, I was no Hank. I agree. That's the best one I know. He's spectacular. So there we go. All right, let's go ahead and throw some teams into some tiers. Do want to mention, by the way, if you're in the best ball streets, if you're in the season-long fantasy football streets, Fantasy Labs, they got you covered. Access to rankings, projections, articles, and more. You got award-winning experts, Sean Corner, Chris Raybon. Fantasy Labs, they also have an app that allows you to get real-time rankings, cheat sheets, lineup advice on the go. Who needs lineup advice on the go? Like, who's in the grocery store and they said, I need to know who to take in the 4th round. I got to be ready. But just in case you do, it's right there for you on the Fantasy Labs app. Have a nice little bonus for you, a little promo code, $15 off. Use the promo code RG15. RG15. Get yourself a promo code for Fantasy Labs. All right, let's throw some teams into some tiers. There's 20 teams. There's 10 games. And weather is fine. Weather is fine. I'll give a refresh, but I'm assuming we're still pretty clean. Do we have a winner just yet for Movie Monday? I don't think we do. You guessed Kong. Skull Island is not Kong. Or Mighty Joe Young was guessed here in the chat. It's not Monkey Man. That's pretty good, by the way. If you like John Wick, have you ever seen Monkey Man? It's very much John Wick-like. Yeah, I liked it. It was pretty good. It's streaming somewhere. Just came out maybe a year ago. Or Jurassic Park, or Tarzan, or Hangover. But we're going to get there. More clues are dropping shortly. All right, first game. It's in New York. Biggest team total on the board. Almost 6 for the Yankees. No Wells. Rice is doing the catching. No Stanton as well. But, Judge, Bellinger, Jazz. Grisham's having a career year. I think he's got 25 homers now. Double dongs yesterday. Taking on Brad Lord. Behind him, one of the worst bullpens in all of baseball. They aren't locked in for 9, but 8 strong. If things go really well, you don't necessarily need that 9th inning. And then you got your boy Cam Schlittler on the other side. So tell me where you're putting the Nats and the Yankees.
No real interest in the Nationals, so they're a tier 4. I mean, maybe a little leverage if that's the only thing keeping them out of tier 5. The Yankees. Just out of respect for the Vegas giving them the highest implied team total, I'll put them in tier 2. I don't think Lord is that good, but I don't think he's that bad. So I don't love the Yankees. I'm putting them in tier 2. It's a big team total, but we'll see. I mean, in almost 100 innings this year, Lord's been under 4 on the xFIP and the Sierra. That's not bad. So not like he's a gas can or anything.
By the way, it looks like the Athletics lineup came out and there's no Kurtz, and I don't know if it's good or bad because I thought he was good for a couple strikeouts for Scooball left on left, but yeah, they're not starting him today. Obviously, the power goes down to the power threats of Kurtz, but yeah, we're looking at Langoliers, Wilson, who's annoying because he doesn't strike out, Rooker, Colby Thomas, he's going to be pinch hit for very quickly. Well, whatever, Scooball leaves. He might never leave.
Dean,
yeah?
That lineup looks bad.
It is. Well, yeah. I mean, you take a Nick out and, obviously left on left, it's tough, but one of the big power guys, Bladay's in there. I like seeing that. Buried in the 9-hole. Brett Harris, Soderstrom, Hernandez, Geloff. I shuffled it up, but that's the collection of hitters for the Athletics. All right. So we got New York in tier 2 and Washington in tier 4. Let's scoot along. It's Minnesota and Toronto. Max Scherzer, Joe Ryan. I already talked about how I liked the collection of lefties here for Minnesota. They're cheap and they have power upside. They hit righties for some power, and Max supplies that power against lefties. So I'm a big fan of, and they make stuff work, really. It's more than anything else. Their team total is below 4. And then Joe Ryan, we already talked about Varsho. When he hits the ball versus righties, it goes far. Where do you want to put Toronto and the Twins?
I'm going with Toronto. Man, I might have got ahead of myself here, but I went Toronto in tier 5. I just didn't. I see that as far as pure stacking, I think there's spots that you can stack tonight that are just better than going against Joe Ryan. I kind of like Joe Ryan, but I'm not going to play him tonight or anything. But I just think he's a solid pitcher. I know the lefty righty stuff is out there, but I'm putting them in tier 5. Minnesota, I get it. I'm certainly not as high on them as you, but I was definitely wanted a little leverage on them, so I put them in tier 3. I thought that was leveragey enough. You seem to like them even more than that, but I'm going to put Minnesota in tier 3.
I mean, the best appeal about them is their salary and the combination of the power upside, and they help me get the arms I want and help me get a couple big bats if I want a couple big bats. So that's more or less. I mean, I'm not thinking Max is necessarily going to get shellacked, but he certainly, if he gives up 2 or 3 homers, I would not be shocked. And that's what we're kind of doing here is homer hunting with Max Scherzer against Max Scherzer. Philadelphia and the Mets. Christopher Sanchez, we like him. We like the Mets too. It's a good ballpark for pitching. Low team total on both sides here for the Mets and the Phillies, 7.5 as far as, the combination of the two. Philadelphia is the favorite here, taking on Kodai Senga. This is one of those games where I think I'm mostly ignoring it. I don't make enough lineups where I can play, Philadelphia stacks or Met stacks. If you want to play them, I'm not going to discourage it. Certainly there's some good hitters on both sides. But I'm curious where you're going to put producer Steve's Mets and the Phillies.
Yeah, maybe he might want to cover his ears here on this one because the Mets against Christopher Sanchez going in tier 5. I'm a big firm believer in this guy's stuff. His xFIP 2.99. That's high leverage reliever numbers right there. He's just really good, man. If I'm not mistaken, he's a big old. He's like 6'7", 6'6", something like that. He's a pretty big dude. I like his stuff. So they're going in tier 5. Philly has a good enough offense that I can't put him too low here because Cody Singai hasn't been unhittable. That's for sure. I think we all expected a little bit more out of the ghost fork ball, whatever he throws. Hasn't really lived up to that, and it's a pretty solid lineup. I won't go too high on him because he's okay, but I'll put Philly in tier 3, just where he's got him right now. They're just there, man. I'm indifferent about them.
Chop, you want another clue for Movie Monday?
If it
this might get you there.
If it doesn't trouble you.
No, yeah, we got 2 more. I have bonus clues if necessary. I don't think they're necessary. We'll see. I think somebody's going to get there eventually. First 3 clues: land, outback, monkey. The 4th clue is roar. Land, outback, monkey, and roar. Get in that Discord channel. Tell me what movie I am talking about. It is not Deep Cover or Jumanji or Rampage or Pirates of the Caribbean or Lion King. Lion King has been guessed. Cross that one off the list. But all right, scooting along here. It is not Madagascar either, Chop. Sorry. Yeah. All right. Next game is Arizona, Milwaukee, Woodruff versus Erod. 4.5 total for the Brewers. Are the Brewers going to be kind of popular? I still don't know how to play this team in DFS outside of you can play Andrew Vaughn. He's still pretty cheap. He's got some power. Don't mind the matchup here against Erod in first base. So kind of a salary saver there. Don't really want to pick on Woodruff, so I don't love the D-backs either. You tell me, though. Arizona, Milwaukee, what do you got?
What I've got is Arizona going in tier 5. Don't want any piece of Arizona. Milwaukee, Dean. Yeah, this is a weird one. You mentioned it. So you talked earlier about Minnesota and the appeal of Minnesota is salary. Milwaukee is cheaper than Minnesota. Like the higher projected guys are even cheaper. You can get them. You can get a stack for even cheaper. So,
but they stink. I know they keep winning, but they kind of stink.
I mean, it's tough, man. They do keep winning, and they
don't hit homers.
Yeah, their numbers at home aren't very powerful. I get it, but I tell you what, Erod's coming to town, and it's a battle of stinks because he might stink. He does stink worse than the Milwaukee offense. Milwaukee's going in tier 1 for me, Dean. They're going in tier 1. There's a lot of things in play. I don't think. I mean, Rodriguez is bad. He gives up home runs. It doesn't matter if you're left or right. He gives it up equally. It's a bad bullpen following him at this point. And the salary. This is the cheapest top of the line stack we've seen so far out of all the teams we talked about. And the only ones that are going to rival that salary later on are teams that most people do not want to touch because they're bad teams. Milwaukee's not a bad team. They may not hit a lot of home runs, but the salary is so cheap you can get there. And so I'm putting them in tier 1, Dean. Listen, this is a pitcher-heavy slate. I was having a hard time putting teams up near the top here. So I got to take some stretches or else there's a good chance we could end up one of these shows without a tier 1 one day.
Like, they're a good team. They're winning games, right? But, like, there's not a ton of power in this lineup against lefties. And the bottom of the lineup we've seen in a small sample, really small sample, Monasterio and Perkins and Collins have been good against lefties. Terang has not shown much power at all against lefties. Even Yelich is bad against lefties. Contreras has been surprisingly bad against lefties this year. Frelick, no power at all, like 64. I don't know how they do it. And then there's pinch hit risk. When Erod comes out, you got like 3 or 4 different guys that Monasterio, Perkins, Collins, Durbin in the right situation might get the hook. I just don't know what to do with this team.
I mean, to your point, Milwaukee's supposed to be a pretty hitter-friendly park for the most. The dimensions are supposed to be pretty hitter-friendly and all that good stuff. Yeah. But this year they're bottom 5 in Major League Baseball in total bases at home. So they haven't. I'm with you, but every once in a while you look up and they hit double digits. So maybe that's tonight.
In the chat, they're not liking my. And again, I'm saying from DFS purposes, I'm saying Milwaukee's just a bad team for our purposes, for my purposes. They just don't have the makeup of a team that necessarily hits 4 home runs and breaks the slate. And they might score 7 or 8 runs, but with singles and doubles and walks and things like that, and with pinch hitters coming in. So, I'm not anti-Milwaukee. But shout out to Bob Uecker. I think they had a big Bob Uecker celebration the other day. Former announcer, he's there for 60 years in the radio or something crazy. Most people know him as Major League, I guess, as he was most well known for, but spectacular. Speaking of best character in a movie, Bob Uecker in Major League, shout out to him, longtime radio announcer. All right, let's scoot along. By the way, Chop, you're not going to be happy. We got a winner. We got a winner in the Discord channel. Shout out to Alexander the Don. Alexander the Don. I will drop the 5th clue because now we're just playing for fun. It is heart, land, outback, monkey, roar, and heart. That is our 5 clues for Movie Monday. Others that weren't listed: yellow, brain, straw, path, tin. I usually have like 10, and I'll whittle it down to 5 words. Okay. We have the knockers are coming, right, Chop? Knockers definitely on layaway. I assume that you have them set and ready to go, as well as the old BBP suggestion.
Faux show.
And no knocker blocker just yet. You gotta hit that like button though. Like, subscribe, turn on notifications. Then for sure, faux show. Chop's gonna give you the knockers. Let's continue. Let's move on. Crunch time coming in 15, 20 minutes or so. Dave Potts, Kirkwood's in the bullpen. Chief mineralogist Kevin Roth. All right, next game up. It's Kansas City and Chicago. Noah Cameron, Shane Smith. We talked about those Royals. Vinny Pasquantino, by the way, Vinny P, a.k.a. The Pasquatch, a.k.a. what? How many home runs did he have? No, I think yesterday he didn't homer. He had a double, I believe, but 7 straight games now. One of the hotter hitters in baseball. It is Matacane Monday? Is that what it is? I think so. Is that the Italian dish we settled on? He's been on fire, and nonetheless, Vinny Pasquantino. Of course, Bobby Witt looks great. Even Yaz looks pretty good. The Royals locked in for 9 at the White Sox. Where are we putting KC and Chicago?
Where are we putting them, Dean? This might be the most offensive game we've seen so far. Believe it or not, this is crazy. The Chicago White Sox are hitting the cover off the ball at times, like since the All-Star break. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. Dean. Lip might have been right all along. This is a juggernaut. I'm putting them in tier 3. I'm putting the White Sox in tier 3 tonight. I don't hate them.
All right.
They're certainly cheap enough, and you can do a lot of good things. And like
every
once in a while, they just come up with these big ass games. So yeah, I'm gonna put them in tier 3. KC, a lot more love for KC. I'm putting them in tier 2. I just can't. It's tough for me to put Kansas City in a tier 1 these days. I just can't do it. So I'm gonna put them in tier 2. It's a good matchup, generally speaking here. So I just don't like their lineup. I've said it before. I don't think there's a lot of pop in that lineup outside of a few guys, a couple of guys up top, Bobby Witt, and then some of the guys you mentioned. But other than that, those guys need to be hot, and so I don't want to play that. I put them in tier 2 though. It's a big team total, good matchup.
Curious where Cardi put the pinch hit risk for. Yeah, Yastrzemski pinch hit risk at 38%. Man, that's just brutal. And Grichuk is right there on the bench when a lefty comes in. The two acquisitions, they just acquired basically a platoon. They combined, they're really good, but that's not how it works with DFS. Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying you can't play him, but it's just annoying when a lefty comes in, he might get the hook if the situation calls for it. All right, 5 more games here, Chopper. Next game up. By the way, Kirkwood in chat's telling us it's Meatball Monday. It was right there, Meatball Monday. It was actually a meatball right over the plate, and I swung and missed. Pittsburgh, St. Louis, Johan Oviedo, Michael McGreevy. Not a lot of people swing and miss against Michael McGreevy, but maybe the Pirates will because they stink. They're pretty terrible. Still no Cruz. Cruz, I think he's on rehab. He had that concussion out for 7 or 10 days or so, colliding in the outfield with somebody's knee. Where do you want to put the Cardinals and the Pirates?
The Pirates are going down in the John Wick Chechens category. They are a tier 5. They're awful team, Dean. Don't want any piece of those guys. They stink. St. Louis, I'm a lot higher on St. Louis than I think the average person is tonight, and I like this matchup for them. I don't like a lot of offense tonight, so I'm putting St. Louis in tier 2. It's a pitcher with for as long as he's going to be in that game, he's a big-time wild walk risk. He's going to walk some guys, get some guys on base. If you could put one, into the alley with guys on base, all of a sudden those point totals come in bunches. It's good stuff. So, yeah, I kind of like St. Louis here. I'm putting them in tier 2.
Yeah, Oviedo looked okay his first start, but like a lot of fly balls, a lot of walks, a lot of strikeouts, and a small sample. But when we saw him last, he wasn't necessarily somebody we were afraid of. But I do think you're higher than the field on St. Louis. Not saying you're wrong. Okay. Angels, Rangers, Jose Soriano versus Jacob deGrom, 7 total. We talked about this Angels lineup being really, really strikeout prevalent. About 30% the projected Ks here. It's just an insane number with the absence of Mike Trout, with Quevedos jumping in there as well. And then Soriano on the other side gets a ton of ground balls. Unless he gets bad, but he's generally okay. And he's really cheap on DK. And again, 7 total. Not an offensive paradise in Texas like you outlined earlier. Rangers, Angels, what do you got?
Not a lot unless you want pitching. Dean. I'm going with the Texas in tier 4 just because they're at home and Soriano can sometimes get in trouble. He's not great, so I'll give him tier 4. But the Angels are going in tier 5. I don't want any. That's deGrom. For as long as he's in that game, he's not gonna give up a lot. You're not gonna earn your money tonight by stacking against him. You better hope you hit a weak link in the bullpen, and I don't even know if they can do that. So that's a tier 5 team for the Angels.
Just see Ryan in chat saying I'm seeing Cruz might be available tonight. Well, he's not starting, so unless they change something, maybe he's available off the bench. I don't know, but the lineup I'm seeing, he did not crack it. Simon, Gonzalez, Reynolds, Horwitz, Pham, Triolo, Sowinski, Bart, and Paguro. Man, if McGreevy had any strikeout ability, he should be okay from runs, I think.
Yeah, run prevention, but no, I tend to not really play around with guys with a 14% K rate. There's just usually not a lot of upside in those guys.
I'd say it's a good general rule. And swinging strikes aren't like they're 7.9%, so it's not even promising. I think that's the lowest in the slate. It is. He's a strike thrower, only 3% walks. More of a ground ball lean. So he's one of those guys that he's kind of he's kind of like a Miles Michaelis, right? He's like a young Miles Michaelis. Which is that a compliment? I don't know, but that's kind of what he's like. Not useful for us for DFS at least. Let's scoot along. I think you have 3 more games here, Chop. Yes. San Diego, Seattle, Bryce Miller at home versus JP Sears. Man, Kyle Raleigh. What else can we say about the big dumper? 49 homers now. He just overtook Sal Perez with the most home runs by a catcher in a given season. And he's got a month left. He's on pace for 60, right? Maybe 61. I didn't do the actual math, right? But just completely outrageous. And he's facing JP Sears, who basically gives up the most fly balls in baseball. So it's in the huge fly ball lean to righties, and Cal Raleigh is one of the biggest fly ball hitters in baseball. I know the ballpark stinks, but it's not been an issue for him. He's hit out of Seattle plenty of times this year. The other tricky part is you got to get to Sears, because you don't, that bullpen's good. The bullpen in waiting is good. I think they work pretty hard against the Dodgers, but on the whole, I don't like to pick it on San Diego's bullpen. And this is the kind of ballpark that Sears might survive, because the ball dies in the warning track as opposed to going over the fence, and he gives up a lot of fly balls. But yeah, where are you putting San Diego and Seattle? I do love Kyle Raleigh for tournaments, if you couldn't tell. I think he's always great if you can find the salary. I love him today.
Well, then that's a one-off. That's not a stack.
I love him as a one-off. Love it. Yeah, he might be my main lineup as a one-off.
Okay,
that just might happen.
Because as a stack, I'm not liking this game at all. We'll start off with the San Diego side. They play in a pitcher's park, so they're kind of used to it, but not this kind of. Even this park is worse than Petco. So San Diego's going in Tier 4. Bryce Miller's numbers don't look good this year, but he's a better pitcher than that in general. So, and they do have a good bullpen, and they're competitive, and they're emptying out the chamber every night to try to win this division, So that's a good thing about teams like that. You can predict what they're going to do there. But as far as now we go to Seattle, for the life of me, I want to rank them higher in the stack chart to pick on JP Sears. Mm-hmm. But just digging into the numbers, like first you have the Seattle offense. They are a top 5 offense on the road, and they're bottom 5 at home. That's how bad the park is. That's legitimate numbers right there. And then you throw in the bullpen, and if it's a close game, it's hard not to get a good arm out of that bullpen if it's even remotely a close game. So they're a Tier 4 too. I just can't make the move on them. I would love to have bumped them up, but this just isn't the venue or the place to do it.
All right, so Seattle is going.
Both of them Tier 4. Chechens
from Tier 4.
Homeland 24 Chechens, the behind-the-scenes Chechens.
What were the ones that just missed the board? What were the ones? Was there a long list, or you were just scrambling?
Everybody that missed the board was basically some real-life political person, and I wasn't going to play that game.
Sure. No reason. It's a good call, Chop. No reason getting into that. All right, we have 2 more games to go. You know what? 2 more games to go. We've still not have heard a knocker blocker. You assured me there's going to be one.
Oh, I was saving it. Now you ruined the surprise.
Well, we shall see. There's 2 games left. It is Detroit taking on the Athletics. JT Ginn versus Tarek Skubal. Detroit does have a team total of 5. It's a massive ballpark bump. And we're looking at locked in for 9 innings. No lineup just yet, but we're assuming that Carpenter, especially on FanDuel, looks awesome. Colt Keith is probably a cash game play on both sites, or certainly in the conversation of. And if you get the salary, get the Riley Green as well. Detroit, Athletics, what do you got?
Detroit against Ginn in this ballpark, that's a Tier 2. That's a Tier 2 for me. I'm going Tier 2 for Detroit. Those left-handed bats specifically are what I'm interested in. So I think that makes for a good stack. Now, on the other side, you got Skubal. You got a good bullpen. I know it's a good ballpark, but there's just no way. We can't stack nothing with the A's. And especially you don't have their best power hitter in there, Nick Kurtz, or debatable against a left-hander, probably not. He wouldn't have been, but still, that's a Tier 5 Oakland. I want no part of that stack. And so what happens here, Dean, you get Skubal, who keeps it close. Now, I'm a little worried that Detroit puts too much distance in this game and we don't get the leverage arms. But if we did, Detroit does feature several candidates to be knocker blockers. But today, Chopper's knocker blocker is going to be – I've watched this guy for 2 years now. I think he's awesome. Will Vest, 30-year-old right-handed pitcher in that Seattle bullpen. This guy's got the juice, man, when he comes out with that he's got his little sinker or four-seamer, whatever he runs, 96, 97. He's good at that. 2.91 xFIP, Dean. That's a really good overall xFIP. That's that's high leverage arm type stuff. What he got is a nasty, nasty slider, Dean. It breaks down and away to righties. That's how he gets them out. You want to hear a crazy number, Dean? To right-handed hitters are hitting .139 weighted on base against that slider this year. That's his out pitch to righties, 139 WOBA. That would be a low batting average. That would be a low on base percentage. That's a weighted on base. So Will Vest, if you haven't watched him, he's pretty electric, man. He's pretty amped up out there on the mound. He's very demonstrative. I like him. He's good pitcher, very good pitcher.
You said Seattle bullpen. You meant Detroit. I heard you say.
I'm sorry if I said Seattle. I meant Detroit. That's for sure. He's in that Detroit bullpen.
But you know who's not going to have a knocker blocker anytime soon? It's the Astros. Your Astros bullpen is ravaged right now. A lot of you guys have Craig Kimbrell now, so shout out to you.
Dean, you know the weird thing, I was digging in on his stats when they made that signing. They weren't half bad. I don't believe he's going to do much, but some of his numbers the last few years aren't that bad. He's still striking out 30+% of the guys. They're not on the main slate, and they get a day's rest. Yeah, but they're running on fumes. So next time they're on the main slate, we're gonna have to think about that one hard and heavy because they are running on fumes.
Roth in chat says, "Is he the weird bird dude?" Yeah, I guess. Is that what you call it? When he kicks out his arm, like the kind of the chicken arm? Is that what we call it for Kimbrell?
Kimbrell, yeah. I don't know if we call him the weird bird dude, but he does the
arm thing. Yeah. I guess that's what Roth is referring
to.
He
does. Is a scarecrow arm. Yeah, he does that. Not to be confused with
there it is, producer.
Not to be confused with Edwin and Carcion? Edwin,
former Dodger, former
Red, the parakeet home run guy.
Oh no. Yeah. When he would take the parrot for a ride when he had a homer. Yeah. I like that one. That one. That was a good celebration. Oh, yeah. All right. Has he ever homered off Kimbrell? I don't know if that's ever happened before, but the parrot on parrot. All right, so we have the Reds and the Dodgers. Emmett Sheehan against Hunter Green. Hunter Green, he's got legit double-digit strikeout ability. I think the Dodgers will be mostly ignored here on this slate. Their lineup is out: Ohtani, Betts, Freeman, Will Smith, Teoscar, Freeland, Conforto, Pages, and Rojas. You kind of besmirched the Reds earlier in the show. Dodgers are favored, -145, but the monster team total is not here today because there is some respect for Hunter Green. Reds, Dodgers, where are they on the board?
Both teams, Dean. Both of them going in tier 4. Yeah, Hunter Green is really rock solid. And I know the Dodgers numbers at him. I guess this is what you would – it's not really a leverage play because they're going to get ownership. I'm seeing them at, relatively decent amount of projected ownership tonight. So it's not like you get a lot of leverage, like it's some big leverage stack. They're going to get ownership. So I just can't get behind that against Hunter Green. I think he's pretty solid. And then on the flip side, Cincinnati just doesn't have a good lineup, and she ends up quality pitcher. That's tier 4 at best for me.
Alan and Chad talking about the Gavin Lux revenge. Not sure how vengeful he is, but former Dodger just did not quite work out there. Going to go ahead and recap the board. Going to give the people the knockers as well as the old BBP suggestion of the day. I will explain. Chop, did you get to Movie Monday? Did you have the pieces together? Did you have to give the answer? I know you kind of give up once somebody else guesses.
Somebody guessed that I gave up, so I guess I didn't get it.
All right.
I'm okay with that.
Chop ranked his favorite Chechens. He had a lot to choose from. I'm just going to say tier 1. I know NoHo Hank. I can pronounce that. All by themselves. Chop has Milwaukee in tier 1. It's all by themselves there, hanging out with Barry and NoHo Hank. Tier 2, it's the Yankees, Kansas City, St. Louis, and Detroit. In the middle, the second least popular. Chop is taking a stand. You can't say he's not taking a stand. He's not riding any fence. There's 3 teams in there amongst 20. It's Minnesota, Philly, and the White Sox. Tier 4, it's Washington, Texas, San Diego, Seattle, Cincinnati, and the Dodgers. And Chop's least favorite stacks: Toronto, the Mets, Arizona, Pittsburgh, the Angels, and the Athletics. We will knock out the knockers in just a second, but did want to tell the people about Movie Monday. Clue number 1 was land. I didn't want, again, somebody binked last time out, Chop. They binked, and I get angry when somebody binks. So land is in reference to one of the main actresses, the main actress in this movie. Her name, if you heard the name, you'd know who it is right away, so I'll skip that just for a second. There, Derek is on top of it. 2, Outback. You were on it, Chop. You were on it, and I thought somebody was going to get it with your clue. Outback was in reference to Australia, but Australia also has a nickname. A lot of people call it Oz. They call Australia Oz. 3 is Monkey. Of course, Judy Garland, who played Dorothy, was captured by flying monkeys. I was trying to make a whole like zoo thing, even though it was nothing to do with the zoo. That's what Outback, Monkey, and Roar, clue number 4. But Roar, of course, is in the reference to the Cowardly Lion. The Cowardly Lion. Clue number 5 was Heart. There was a man made of tin who wanted a heart. And I think we spelled it out, Chop. We know what today's movie was.
You talking about Wizard of Oz now?
There you go. Yeah. No spoilers, by the way. No spoilers. It's been like 90 years, but there's so many out there. Those monkeys scared me when I was a kid. I had to run out of the room, I think, when I watched that the first time. Chop, knockers, what do you got?
Well,
you got a knockers theme song?
Do I?
You don't hear music in your ear? That's not just a coincidence.
I do.
When did this happen? Is this AI?
Is that okay? We have to work on that.
Is this surprising you, or you and Steve orchestrated this?
No, this was not orchestrated, but I like it though. But although I do have another little song. If we're gonna go this route, I got a little bit more up tempo we can play next time, but that's okay. Yeah. So if you're talking about BVP suggestion of the day, Dean, I'm glad you didn't mention it because there is no BVP suggestion of the day. There is like the slate is so light on BVP, and there was nothing that jumped out the algorithm that said tier 1 selection. Nothing says tier 1 selection in the algorithm. Sorry, can't force it, Dean. My name, my reputation. It's just a
blank piece of paper. When you print it out, and I assume you print it out. When you print it out, it's a blank piece of paper?
Don't print it out. I have a computer screen, Dean, and you press return and stuff comes up and it says tier 1. Nothing in tier 1. It's just blank cells in the Excel sheet. Tier 2, it starts spitting out names, but I'm not giving out tier 2s. So we go straight to the knockers. Dean, that's what we go to, straight to the knockers today. Everybody loves some MILF knockers, Dean, right? Some MILF knockers?
Sure, I'll go along with it.
Yeah. Short for Milwaukee, MIL, whatever F you want to put on the end of that, whatever. Some MILF knockers. So I'm going into Milwaukee today with this one, Dean. William Contreras, Andrew Vaughn. I know you don't like the lineup. I know you don't like the team, but I love the matchup against Eddie Rodriguez. I want a couple right-handed bats in there to smash.
Not to critique, but and this is your bit. When I think of Milwaukee, I think of beer. I don't think of milk. That's just me. But maybe that's just me. I don't know. You don't.
Any what?
Think of milk beer. I think of beer when I think of Milwaukee or cheese. I don't think of milk.
No, not milk. Those weren't milk knockers, Dean.
Oh, they weren't. Did you not? Oh, okay. Now I see.
Milk, like MIL Milwaukee, and then the F.
Ah, okay. I misheard you. My apologies. I stand corrected. I thought I heard milk.
Yeah, okay. It's MIL, short for Milwaukee. The F for franchise. The Milwaukee franchise. MILF.
We had this conversation previously whenever I would write about Milwaukee, generally like the Bucks. I typically would shorten them with like MLW instead of
that's terrible.
And then somebody said, well, somebody pointed that out. I'm like, I thought MLW made more sense than MIL. And like, I think we should yield to whatever the official airport code is. What is their official airport code? No. Dave Potts, Cheese is saying MLW.
No, we don't do the airport code. That's MKE. Very dumb.
Oh, it is MKE. You're right. Yeah. So they're both. Yeah.
Makes no sense. Sorry for Milwaukee.
All right. Let's go ahead and bring in crunch time. Yeah, Dave is saying MLW. I was team MLW as well, and then I stood corrected. But still, muscle memory wants me to still type that. Let's seamlessly segue. Let's talk to crunch time. It's Dave Potts. It is Kirkwood, Kirkdiese, leader of Juggalo Nation, as well as chief meteorologist Kevin Roth. It's crunch time right now. So, Dave, you did the same thing when you were writing. You did the same thing you wanted to write MLW?
I remember that you and I having this conversation way back when we were like forced to switch on the expert survey to MIL.
Yeah.
And we were the only two. I'm totally fine with MIL. It makes sense. But the only place it matters in the notebook, it's MLW. If I ever write them in the notebook, which I rarely do because I don't play them, it's MLW.
Does your notebook ever spit out nothing like Chop's BBP algorithm? His is completely blank today. He gave him nothing. But your notebook is never blank. You always have some answers.
Correct. I will. If there's nothing good, I will write bad things on. Like today. Essentially, all the hitters are bad, but they're listed.
Yeah. It's gonna be I'm curious to hear what you guys have to say because myself and Chop we disagreed. We disagreed a fair bit. But that's why we get to make our own lineups, I suppose. Roth, we're good weather-wise, right? No issues.
That is correct.
All right. So, anything else of note? Anything else you want to say? How was your weekend, Ralph? Any anecdotes you want to share with the people?
There's currently a criminal running around my neighborhood. There's a police helicopter over us hovering, and there's like all kinds of sirens. It's so at any moment, I don't know, anything could happen. It's very exciting.
All right. Alleged. We shouldn't. We haven't. We don't know. Maybe it's a.
Yeah, but I mean, if the cops get the chopper out for you, you're probably probably.
All right. Bad. Well, if somebody comes running through your green screen in the background, I don't know how much room there is, but
what the hell was that?
What was that noise? Was that a drop by Steve, or was that a Kirkwood doing some like ventriloquism? I don't know. I was staring at you. I didn't see your mouth moving, but I don't know who that was. I think it was Steve having some fun. I don't know. All right, let's get out of here, Chop. Anything else before you leave? Crunch time. All right, that was Chop. I was Dean. It's crunch time. You got 45 minutes of Dave Potts, Kirkwood, and Kevin Roth. Roth, take it away.
Good stuff. As always, welcome to it. Ladies and gentlemen, you know the drill. It's crunch time. It's two of the sharpest minds in the biz. Two juggalos. Two of Juggalo Nation's finest. Kirkdiese in the house. What up, man?
What up?
So wait, what the hell was that noise? Because no one is claiming responsibility for that noise.
No clue. I heard it. I don't know.
Okay. All right. Somebody's.
Yeah, I wouldn't put it past Dave to be up to it somehow.
He also has dogs and animals.
Things could happen.
Yeah, it could be a lot of things. Cheese, how are you? This is kind of cool. You're blown up all big in the one box, and we're off to the side. Do that again. What's up, Cheese? How are you?
Oh, there. Whoa. No.
Yeah, that's better.
Yeah, that is better, isn't it? I'm good. I would rather be at a Juggalo party than trying to figure out this weird slate. It's a weird slate because there's so much pitching. Like I want every pitcher on the slate, and then just leaves us with a couple of weird chalky things, and then I think we can spend the rest of the time figuring out who made that noise for sure.
Okay, I think the chat has decided it was you. For what it's worth, the chat thinks you are guilty.
I mean, I wish I was. Maybe we'll try something again.
Rewind the tape. Let's rewind the tape.
Yeah, we got to run it back. We got to look at the lips. Yeah. We'll figure it out. We got Kirkdiese in the house as well. Kirk, how are you, man?
I'm doing well. Ready for this? Got to be here.
Do you feel anxious when they pop you up like full like that? Does it make you feel like
I'm nervous for you?
Yeah. I didn't even notice, but I think this is the way it should be. I think we should probably carry on the show like this, to be honest with you. I think it's a nice look.
Yeah, that checks out.
All right, I mean, Butthole agrees, I'm sure.
Well, no doubt. He's your guy. Just like J3 is always clamoring for Dean, Butthoe's always clamoring for some Kirkdiese. Got to do a little weather update. I don't expect any rain issues, but winds are blowing out in the Yankees game to dead center. I love that. Winds are blowing out to right in the Mets game, both around 10 miles per hour. And winds are blowing out to dead center in Chicago as well, slightly under 10 miles per hour there. So all of those weather-wise are good, but based on the totals in the Chicago game, for instance, geez, I'm guessing those are not great hitting spots.
There are no great hitting spots other than maybe the Yankees and kind of barely the Tigers. That's what I would say. Like this slate is all pitching and very little offense.
Okay, very good. Well, let's dive into the pitching. That could have been.
Yeah, I wonder what the noise is. That's definitely me for sure.
Yeah, that was Cheese. Yeah. Cheese, why don't we talk about the pitchers? I know you'd rather talk about that than the bats. So what do we got?
Yeah, I mean, but I wouldn't rather talk about it because I just love all of them. I'm super curious to see where the ownership goes. We are showing Skubal and DeGrom as the chalk. And I think obviously Skubal is Skubal. So and he's not like crazy expensive. He didn't hit 11K on either site. So I guess he's probably the chalk. And I do think DeGrom is probably the next chalk. I have not a clue in the world what we're supposed to do with DeGrom today. He has the best matchup of any of the aces. He's pitching great. He is probably not hurt. And he is probably not on an unusually low pitch count. But either of those things are in play. He missed a start with shoulder fatigue, which sounds more like they probably just wanted him to have a rest and needed a phrase to put with it. Mm-hmm. I don't have any Jacob DeGrom. I have 0. I do not like that one bit.
The shoulder fatigue thing is what scared you?
Yeah, and the ownership. Like, we have so many fantastic pitchers. I don't think I need the guy who maybe, just maybe, has shoulder fatigue and is 3 times as owned as pitchers who are just as good for DFS.
Right.
I totally get it with DeGrom. And in cash games, I would play DeGrom, at least on DraftKings. I'm not saying I think there's anything wrong with him. I think he scores 23 DraftKings points in 6 innings, 7 strikeouts, 1 run. Like, he's going to – that's most likely he's great. But most likely I don't think he doesn't have that mega ceiling, at least from a pitch count. Mm-hmm. And even on 80 pitches, he could strike out 9 of these guys. It wouldn't surprise me at all. And yet still, there are so many pitchers on this slate. I don't know. I don't think you have to have 9 strikeouts. 4 other guys will get 9 strikeouts. So if you just want the most likely to score the most points and don't care about ownership or whatever level of risk you think there is, then play Skubal and DeGrom and just move along with your day. Mm-hmm. And then you could ignore the guys that I'm not ignoring at all. I love Hunter Green. I think he is a better DFS pitcher than DeGrom. Not necessarily in this matchup, but just in general. And really, I'm not that scared of the Dodgers at this moment. So I love Hunter Green, and I like Christopher Sanchez. Those are my pivots off of the DeGrom chalk. And I don't really have that much Skubal because the salary difference, it's not dramatic, but it matters. So that's my top tier. I don't have Woodruff at all, and I don't have Joe Ryan at all. Feel free to play them; they're great too.
So your top tier is just Hunter Green, personally, or at
Hunter
least
Green,
mostly.
Hunter Green, Skubal, then a little drop to Sanchez, then a little drop to DeGrom.
Yeah, okay.
Which is kind of flipped from the standard is going to be Skubal and DeGrom chalk.
Yeah.
Okay, now. From there, it does not get any less fantastic because you're saving money. Cam Schlittler for 7,700 on DraftKings and 8,400 on FanDuel is a big price tier below those aces, and he looks pretty good. I think he's a wonderful play on both sites. And then cheaper than that, it stays pretty, great in air quotes, great for the price. Michael McGreevy against the Pirates, Jose Soriano on DraftKings against the Rangers. You can throw Emmett Sheehan in there. You could throw JP Sears, Eduardo Rodriguez, JT Ginn. I'm not playing any of those guys. I'm just throwing out all the names because every pitcher on this slate is playable. Mm-hmm. Literally every one of them. If I had 150 lineups, I would have every pitcher, including Brad Lord. But I don't have 150 lineups, so I'm not playing all of them. So to clear this up, because that's a lot of names. Up top, if you don't care about ownership, play Skubal and DeGrom. I do care about it. I'm playing Green and Sanchez a little bit ahead of them. Mid-tier for me is just Cam Schlittler. You can play any other guys, but that's the only one for me. Cheap stuff for me is McGreevy and Soriano.
Okay, that was Kirkwood.
On FanDuel, I'm even more worried about DeGrom chalk because he's cheaper than the other aces. So I like him. He should be great. I would be fine to play him in cash. But I love the salary. Like, McGreevy for 7,000. I think you could even play Bryce Miller for 6,500 if you want. I don't think you need to, but I'm fine with it. I actually like McGreevy the best. I feel like he's just a quality start waiting to happen for 7,000. He's not going to get the 9 strikeouts that all these other guys are going to get. So the bats that you spend on will need to come through, but I think they will.
Do you want to talk about FanDuel? So I'll let you just kind of dive into that. And also, is Schlittler going to be higher owned than what we've got him projected at? Because he seems almost perfect in this spot with his price and his upside and all of these things.
I think he's projected about right on DraftKings at like 17%. You know, he may get up to like 25. On FanDuel, I think he gets a little more than the 5% or 6%. Like maybe he's 12%, but like I wouldn't be worried about chalk at all. But so really, it's the same thing on FanDuel, just with slightly different pricing. Because DeGrom being cheaper, I think just makes him too popular. And I love, like, nobody's going to play Hunter Green or Christopher Sanchez because they're just barely cheaper than Scooball. I like Hunter Green the best for a large field tournament. And McGreevy is my favorite cheap guy.
Okay, very good. Kirkwood, want to bring you in? Talk about these pitchers. You got a lot of choices. What are you doing?
Yeah, I'm a little bit different than Dave. I thought I was going to be higher on Hunter Green than him, but I guess I'm not. I'm on DeGrom. I don't think that they're going to rush him. I think he's going to see his normal workload, but I could be wrong. And I'm not passing up this matchup against this Angels lineup for strikeouts. It's every single batter except for one is a very high strikeout batter. And he's still been pretty good this season. His Ks have been a little bit down, but he's phenomenal. And the price is cheaper. So I'm on him. I get the ownership. There's probably going to be a lot of ownership, but I think it's going to be, there's going to be I think the highest owned pairings are going to be DeGrom and Scooball, or Scooball and Schlittler. And I think Hunter Green is going to be lower than these guys. So he's my next SB2, and I like the lineup I can make. I can do a lot with it. Hunter Green, I fall for guys that throw 100 miles per hour every time, but he's absolutely legit. He's looked awesome in his 2 starts back from the IL. His pitch count is up fine. And like Dave said, I'm not really scared about the Dodgers lineup at this point. I dislike Will Smith being in there, but I think he can mow down this lineup, and I think you're going to get an ownership discount there. So that's how I'm playing DeGrom. And then you can do anything you want from there. Schlittler makes the most sense because it's a good matchup. Other than that, Christopher Sanchez, awesome pitcher. Love him. Mets, totally been slumping, but still a really good, potent lineup. But I would definitely favor Sanchez in this matchup. The price on Soriano is kind of ridiculous. So I don't even really think there's much to talk about. I think it's like the Soriano for 5,700, then Schlittler for 7,700, and then all your top guys take your pick. I'm out on Max Scherzer, but I get the play if people want to play him. 8,300 is kind of nice. He's looked decently well. His numbers against lefties are bad, but that's pretty skewed from the beginning when they were just really bad. I think he's kind of found his groove as of right now. So that's all really. Like, I have no interest in anyone else in those guys.
I am getting a few cash questions, and I think the answer is Scooball DeGrom, but I feel like maybe you guys would even mix it up with like DeGrom Schlittler pairing. What do you think? What's your cash build, Kirkwood?
I think the cash build is going to be DeGrom and Scooball personally, but because Scooball is he's just the best pitcher, obviously, in baseball this season. Cy Young should be his. He had a couple of rough outings, but looked really good in his last start and just has immense upside. So and it's not hard to do that. There's enough value bats, and also there's just not a ton of bats to even like tonight. So I think the 2 top scoring pitchers are going to be the cash build.
Okay. Well, that's a good segue into what we need to talk about, which is the stacks, because I might build. I'm not sure I've played a single MLB DFS game all season. Maybe I played one or two.
You played one. You played once.
That's right. I played Caballero when I meant to play Caminero. is how that went.
And he stole 2 bases, came through for you by accident.
It was a good day.
Because he was watching the show. He was like, I got to do something for this guy, and I can't hit a homer.
I feel like I have a pitcher edge. I feel like I'm going to crush. So I'm going to play. And I'm assuming, I'm playing. There are 3 pitchers that I really want. So
you can only play 2, Kevin.
But I need DeGrom, Schittler, and Green. I need those 3.
You can only play 2 pitchers, Kevin. I emailed them all day asking for 3. Okay.
Those are the only 3 I need. Those 3 are the 3.
So you're going from 1 lineup all year to 2 lineups tonight. I love it.
That's right. Yeah, we're gonna max enter the 150. But then I want to pay up for bats, right? I'm gonna save a little money. I'm gonna pay up for bats, and I think Kirkwood, I'm paying up for Yankees. But why don't you tell me, where are we gonna get the runs?
Yeah, it pains me to say this, as a Red Sox fan, and I'm rooting for them to lose because we're neck and neck in the standings. But the Yankees are the clear runaway best stack on this slate to me. Last night was a gimme win against the Red Sox. I mean, I don't know why they got May in the first place, but the Dodgers need pitching, and they were happy to part with him, and the Red Sox took him. I think he's terrible. It just threw meatball after meatball, but Brad Lord's decent, but this is still nice 80 degrees weather, winds blowing out the center with a little bit to right, with that short porch. It's good for all the batters. All these guys can hit monster home runs. Lord's not a huge strikeout guy, so this is just the best spot on the slate. Now, they're probably going to be the highest owned, but there's also ways to, people don't play like Paul Goldschmidt isn't going to be played much. Dominguez probably won't be played that much. Ryan McMahon probably won't be played that much. So there's ways.
Caballero's on the Yankees, Roth. Do you know that, by the way?
No. Wow.
And he's in the lineup today. So it's all happening.
Well, obviously
together.
He's
3.4K for Roth right there.
Yep. Lock him in.
And plus you got a reach around. You can do a reach around stack with him. So
I'm about the reach around.
Yeah. They're the top stack. From there, I don't love anybody, but my rank is Detroit is in a good spot against Ginn of the A's. Good ballpark. He really struggles with lefties. They have some good power lefties that they're going to fill the lineup with. Like Riley Green is a phenomenal play. Kerry Carpenter is a phenomenal play. We'll see if Colt Keith makes the lineup or not. He was out for sickness yesterday. But then from there, the Kansas City Royals are in a really solid spot because, Smith is a pretty decent pitcher, I'd say. But, you get into that bullpen. So, and they're plus like Vinny, it's Meatball Monday for Vinny P. He's homered in like 6 of his last 7 games or something like that. It's ridiculous. But, they got some boppers. Bobby Witt is a strong, there's more value to a Bobby Witt tonight on this kind of slate with a lot of people going high-end pitching than it normally would be. So if you are going down, finding a way to get Bobby Witt in your lineup is probably a very good idea. From there, I kind of like Seattle. And then for cheap, if you want to play, stud pitching, Milwaukee, they're not the greatest DFS team. They don't hit tons of homers. But they put up a bunch of runs, and they could certainly get to Erod in this spot tonight. So they're cheap, and the other cheapie would be like Minnesota.
Yeah. Okay, very good. Cheese, your thoughts as I'm building this lineup over here, just stacking up my boys.
Yeah. Yankees far and away the top offense and the chalk. But it is kind of a strange lineup build, like Kirk was saying. The bottom 4 guys are not going to get that much action. Everyone's going to want to play the top 5, but that gets a little pricey. So I don't know if that means people will be doing the old reach around stacks or playing cheap pitching with them. But one way or another, the Yankees will be the chalk. Detroit number 2, KC number 3. And then to me, there's a pretty big drop after that with the Brewers being next. And then it's just all the random dart throwing in the world. I'm mostly playing one-offs and mini stacks outside of those top 3 stacks.
Okay. Who leads off for the Yankees?
Grisham.
Do I want to play him?
Yes, he'll hit 2 home runs.
Nice
for
2
sure.
home runs last night. So he should do it again tonight. That's what always happens.
Okay, thank you. All right. Anything else, Cheese, you want to throw in?
Absolutely not.
No. Okay, let's go around the horn. Talk position by position. Starting off with some catcher. I'm obviously playing Ben Rice, but Cheese, you may do something different.
Yeah, no, you and everybody else. Like Ben Rice is definitely the play. Although catcher, as always, is kind of loaded. So like he's not going to be like 40% owned because Contreras will get plenty of attention in that price range, as will Sal Perez. Or you can spend all the way up for Cal Raleigh, which is my preference. To me, Rice, Perez, and Raleigh are the 3 main guys I'm playing. All the other cheap stuff is fine. I would just play it in a stack. I mean, if you needed like Quiro or something to make everything work, go ahead. But to me, the whole position is Rice or Perez, unless you can spend up for the big dumper.
Okay. Kirkwood?
Yeah, you could even go Corey Lee for total punt for 2K on the White Sox. But yeah, exactly the same. I mean, it's Uncle Ben for the Yankees, 4,400 catcher eligible, big power upside, easiest cash play there is. Still probably vital part of stacks too. But Caro would be the punt at 2,700. William Contreras is probably the best bat for Milwaukee tonight. Salvador Perez, and then like Dave said, the big dumper, or you could take half a dump and go with Mitch Garver. Sometimes small dump. Sometimes you just need like a second time or something. Like you missed a little bit.
Just a little nugget. Yeah. First base. What are we doing, Kirkwood?
First base again. Ben Rice is eligible. This is where Shohei is 6,500. So against Hunter Green. I mean, if there's anyone who can take a fastball off Hunter Green, it's probably Shohei for a homer. But I prefer to go to Vinny P on Meatball Monday. Guy is just El Fuego. Another solid play is Andrew Vaughn, who's batting cleanup 3,700, has been pretty good, and is against the Erod. So he gets the platoon, which is big. You could punt it with Miguel Vargas. You could play Goldie, even though Lord's numbers versus righties are pretty decent, and Goldie has stunk versus righties. But I just feel like he's going to hit a homer tonight. I like that the wind's blowing out there to center. I think it's his time tonight. It's going to make something happen. But other than that, Spencer Torkelson, and there was a punt. Who was that?
I need a punt. Yeah.
Spencer Horwitz for 3,200 has some home run upside against. He stinks, but he's batting cleanup for the Pirates.
I need a punt, not 3,200. I need
Rowdy
like a.
Tellez.
Thank you.
Oh, is he? Yeah. How much is he right now? You got to save room for the ultimate punt in Jock Peterson at the outfield. You get 2,300.
Good notes. Let's see, Cheese, your thoughts at first base, please.
My thoughts are mostly just play Vinny P. You can play him because he's hot, or play him because he's good, or play him because he's on the Royals, or play him because he's a lefty against Shane Smith. Or there's plenty of reasons to play him, and he's not that expensive. Outside of him, Andrew Vaughn is the one Brewers guy I'll play on his own. It's mostly Detroit lefties, but I would want to get Torkelson in a stack. A team that nobody's going to play that does have a path to blowing up the slate is the Phillies. I'm not spending up for these guys on their own, but I do like a little bit of Phillies with Harper in there. Just good players that no one's going to play that could get 49 walks from Senga and then just kind of blow it up. And then, Rowdy Tellez, if you need super cheap. That's about it.
Okay. Second base.
Second base is Jazz Chisholm all by himself. I think we're still waiting for the Detroit lineup. If Colt Keith is back leading off, he's on FanDuel at second base, where you'd want to play him there. DraftKings, he's only third. If you're not spending up for Jazz and you're not on FanDuel playing Colt Keith, to me, I think you just play Michael Massey for minimum salary, take your 0 and move on. You either get 2 home runs from Jazz or you're getting a 0 at the position, unless just the guy in your stack just is part of whatever happens. I do not want to spend even any like $1 on any of these guys outside of a stack unless it's Jazz.
Okay. Kirkwood?
Yeah, I mean, at least with Massey, if he is gonna like have a decent game, he's gonna homer. He's probably gonna homer or just get a 0 for you. You could go up 100 and play Ronnie Simon. I guess batting leading off for the Pirates. You know, there's no upside really with him, but
you
Gleyber
could also
Torres,
let me say you could do Edward Julian in the same realm. Probably a 0, but he could hit a home run.
He could homer too, yeah. So yeah, it would be Julian or Massey would be the punts probably. Just hope you get the homer and then you're chilling. And if not, you're probably fine. But it's really just Jazz or Gleyber Torres for me.
Okay. I just had to take Judge out of my stack and plug in Caballero instead.
I'm not playing Judge.
I just can't tell you how hard of a click that was, like removing Judge and putting in a dude who is truly, truly terrible. Okay, I think we're at the third base, Kirkwood.
Caballero's not terrible.
Yeah, he's not terrible. He's not Aaron Judge, but he's not terrible.
Yeah. Thank you, guys.
So here, I don't know. So Colt Keith is like probably going to be the chalk. And if he makes the lineup, we'll see, because he just, he was out sick yesterday. He's fine. You want lefties against Ginn, and Keith has some pretty decent, solid numbers. So, and leading off, there's a lot of equity there. So I like him. I like Miguel Vargas too. I like, the White Sox aren't terrible. They're not great, but they're not terrible. So at this point in the season, and Vargas is certainly 3,200 is fine price. Could definitely work out for you. Miguel Garcia is batting cleanup for the Royals here. I don't mind him. And other than that, it's like I like Eugenio Suarez for a potential home run tonight against JP Sears, 4,700. He hasn't been great with Seattle yet, but we know the power's there, and so I like that. And then, I don't really love anything else. So Dave can give some better direction.
Cheese, you got some
he
better
cannot,
direction?
but thank you. No, he
Okay.
cannot.
Yeah.
It's basically as bad as second base. It's just these are dead spots. Suarez is far and away my favorite spend up. Colt Keith will be massive chalk on DK if he's in the lineup, and I'm fine with that. Like, I think just get a few points, and he can hit a home run off again. I can hit a home run off again if I was left-handed.
Bobby Gomes could definitely hit a home run off again
for sure.
What about a sweaty Dean Shavelson? Is that your go-to?
Yeah, we're gonna pinch hit for Sweaty Dean.
Okay.
He's more of a pitcher.
So basically, my whole pool is Suarez as a spend up, Garcia in a Royal stack, Colt Keith, maybe Miguel Vargas, and I've got a skosh of Nolan Gorman for a random home run as well.
Okay. That brings us to shortstop. What are we doing there?
That's better finally. Like, I think the two best plays on the slate, or two of the top, 3 or 4 are Bobby Witt and Ellie De La Cruz. I do think that Witt will be more popular than Ellie. We're showing it flipped. I mean, but I don't think it really matters. I think the point is like those two guys get the bulk of the ownership, which does leave it where you could make a case to spend up for CJ Abrams or Trey Turner or Corey Seager just to be different. But the way I'm building tonight, I don't really need that to be different. I'm different enough elsewhere. I have a slight preference for Ellie over Witt because I think that ownership is going to be more skewed to Witt. But I love those two guys. If you have to go cheap, you can play Brooks Lee. But this isn't the place I really want to go cheap.
Yeah. Okay. Kirkwood, your thoughts at short?
Same thing. Bobby Wood, Ellie De La Cruz, take your pick. Both really strong plays. Corey Seager would be my next favorite from there. If you need the punt, it's Chase Medroth.
Nice. I was just about to click that dude for my Chicago White Sox mini stack.
Oh yeah, you're gonna be chill. You're looking good, Roth.
I'm in deep, boys. I'm in deep. This is fun. I should do this every day.
You should have been doing this before now.
Yeah, this is excellent.
Sorry, someone just said Spencer Strider is dookie, and I just wanted to see if he was getting blown up right now. Bo Bichette, batting cleanup, not going to be owned at all. Joe Ryan gives up home runs. And then I don't mind. I mean, I kind of like some Washington bats against Schittler. CJ Abrams and Woods would be the obvious ones, but CJ Abrams just at that price going to get no ownership tonight. And I think he could have a good game here.
Okay. That brings us to the outfield. Kirkwood, you get to do the honors. By the way, you should know my green Schittler lineup has a Yankee stack, a White Sox mini, and the big dumper at catcher. Like
Beautiful.
that, I don't think it can lose. I've
Probably
never felt
not.
better about clicking save on a lineup.
So you got what? You got Medrith, Vargas,
Yes.
and who? Do you have one more?
Yeah, I do, but I don't know off the top of my head because I don't
Okay.
know any
It's
of those
all right.
people.
Sorry to put you on the spot. Aaron Judge, obviously phenomenal play, but not necessarily necessary in Yankee stacks at that price, especially if they walk them, if it's one of those games. Trent Grisham, 4,100, just phenomenal play at that price. A lot of upside there. Shohei, obviously always in play. Riley Green looks to be an awesome play against Ginwin. Is just really gives it up to lefties. I like Arozarena. Yaz is looking pretty decent on projection wise. I worry about a little bit of pinch hit risk. It's probably actually a decent amount, but he's only 3,800. He's leading off against the White Sox like that. I love, if I'm not playing Judge, but I'm playing Grisham and Cody Bellinger for my Yankees in the outfield there. You could also play the Martian, Jason Dominguez, 3,300, but I do prefer the lefties. Jock Peterson is the punt, as always. Has now homered twice, I think, in this little stretch. Also had a walk-off hit for a game. He's been putting. He's got 3 decent games in his last 4, and he's still only 2,300, and he's batting cleanup. So, besides ownership, what's happening?
I just Googled why the Martian. Like, why is Jason Dominguez called the Martian? And AI said because of his out-of-this-world talent and impressive physical tools at a very young age. And I was like, that is the dumbest thing. And then I clicked on his picture, and the dude's ears, like, that's why he's called the Martian, right? He's got alien ears, right? That's
I
the
guess.
actual reason.
You know what they say about big ears?
I'm just the guy. That is why they call him the Martian, and I'm certain of that. Anyway, sorry, that picture was alarmingly hilarious to me. I think we're in the outfield. Were you done? I'm sorry.
I'm done.
All right. Cheese, your thoughts?
Riley Green and Kerry Carpenter, I like just as much as Judge and Ohtani, and they're cheaper. Carpenter's only 3K on FanDuel, by the way. That would be my first player in FanDuel cash games. Trent Grisham, too cheap. I like Wensil Perez even not in Tiger stacks. Other kind of random mid-tier guys I like are Dalton Varsho. Dalton Varsho. Noel V. Marte. Lil Noop Bar. Cheaper Twins, Wallner, Clemens. I'm fine with the Jock Peterson punt if you need it. And there you go.
Very good. The people are going to want some home run calls. I'll tell you that. If I know anything about the people, They want to know who's hitting some bombs. So let's give the people what they want. Cheese, you got a few names for me?
Sure. I don't know how obvious we want to be tonight. I won't say any Yankees, just
Okay.
But I'll still be obvious with Riley Green up top. Mid-tier, I'll be less obvious with Noelvi Marte. And cheap, we're going to go Michael Massey.
Very good. Kirkwood, you got a few names. By the way, if you're watching this and you're loving this, make sure you hit the thumbs up for us. I'm not going to beg for likes, but it keeps the show free. The eyeballs, the likes, your thumbs up keeps you watching the show. So make sure you're hitting that thumbs up. Kirkwood, some home run calls.
Yeah, so I'm going to go with a Yankee, but not the one that most people would expect. So I'm going to say Paul Goldschmidt goes yard for the Yankees tonight. Other than that, where else? I'm gonna obviously the low hanging fruit is Vinny Meatball Monday, Vinny Pasquantino again, and then I'm also going to say Randy Arozarena.
Okay. Very good. I want to make sure the people are getting the best deal in the industry. NFL, it's right around the corner. We can all acknowledge that's happening. Fantasy Labs, your home for season-long fantasy football and best ball content. You get access to rankings, projections, articles, and more from award-winning experts. Fantasy Labs has an app, lets you get real-time rankings, draft cheat sheets, and lineup advice on the go. Sign up now, code RG15 for $15 off. If we could pull up a picture of Jason Dominguez, just so you can see how much he looks like a Martian. Like, I can't believe that they're not just saying he's called that because he looks exactly like an alien. That would be helpful. In the meantime, let's take some QQs, see what we've got. Anything in the Discord? Bill says, hey, with
Me.
like, you can't tell me he's not called the Martian because he looks like a Martian, right?
He looks like a UFC wrestler, is what he looks
yeah,
like with those
cauliflower ears.
Yeah.
Like,
good thing he didn't wrestle this guy. That would be something.
I'm not even making fun of the ears. It's just hilarious that when I Googled why is he called that, his looks were never brought into it, when that is actually clearly the answer. Hey, Bill says, Cheese, with this many good throwers, using two cheapies and expensive backs makes no sense. At least two of them will perform, and likely 3 or 4 will have good games.
Is that a question or a statement?
It's just a statement, actually. But some of the cheaper guys are good, at least mid-range.
Yeah, and cheap. Like, to me, there is no thing you can't do. You can go double expensive, double cheap, double mid-tier, 1-1 of any combo. I don't think there's such a thing as a bad combo tonight.
Yeah. Okay. FanDuel Tournament, Cheese, in your primary Yankee stack lineups, spend it down with Cam. Do you still play Judge or forego him so you can get a Bobby, an Ellie, Dumper?
I would rather do it without Judge to get Witt or Ellie.
Okay. That's where I landed, so I'm glad to hear that. Who are the DK cash bats we gotta have, Kirkwood? Who are the cash bats you gotta have? Give me 2 or 3 names.
It's Grisham, and it is Vinny Pasquantino. Those are the 2 names.
Okay, that works.
And Colt Keith, if he's in the lineup. And he is. Colt Keith is the 3rd.
Okay. Scrolling up in the old YouTube here. Kevin, did you ever sell used cars? No, but I'm a weatherman. I feel like it's similar skill set.
Off the record, did you see that curb? You guys Curb Your Enthusiasm fans?
Yeah.
The one where he there's an episode where he's a car salesman. He gets a job because he's sitting around the hotel doing nothing forever, and he took on a challenge or whatever, and it is hilarious. Just want to see if anyone saw it.
I have not. I've seen the one where he gets in a fight with the weatherman because he thinks the weatherman's lying about
the golf for the golf course. Yeah, for the tee times.
Yeah. FanDuel, 4K left in the util. Kirkwood, where are you going?
I mean, that's a lot. You can do quite a lot in the util. Hold on 1 second. Salary, 4K. Okay, so it's Bobby Witt or Ellie De La Cruz, probably. That seems pretty nice if you have like one of them in the shortstop position and you just play them both on FanDuel because of the util. Yeah, that's my answer. Riley Green, it would be the next.
Great. Unreleased lo-fi music says Cheese 3 maxing on FanDuel. How many screwball should he have?
I would have one.
Okay. The number one stack on DraftKings. So the actual answer is Yankees, right? We can all agree on that. But what is ownership considered your favorite stack, Cheese?
Ownership considered, my favorite stack is not to stack. But I don't know if that's an answer to that question, because the other answer is Detroit and then Kansas City, but that's chalk 1, chalk 2, chalk 3. Yeah. If you just have to have a just wildly off the board, I'll go Cardinals, I guess.
Okay.
It's crazy. I look at that and I see, like, I want to say a Seattle stack, but like there's this slate, it's like really weird. There's that incredible bullpen behind JP Sears that.
Yeah.
Now I'm questioning my big dumper shares here in my.
Well, that's
he's going to homer right in the beginning.
Yeah. All right. Let's see. Kirkwood, Jazz, Brooks Lee, or Alex Freeland and Witt, DK Cash. Cash question.
Wow. I guess I'll go Freeland and Witt because of Witt being the overpowering bat for cash.
Cheese Peter says Belly and Rice or Dominguez and Dumper.
Belly and Rice.
Okay. Cheese right back to you. Rice and Jock or Grish and Cuero.
Rice and Jock.
Okay. I feel like I nailed that Spanish pronunciation. I was kind of proud of myself there. Scrolling down, and that's just a comment, not a question. Cheese Mario says, is a 3-2 structure maybe more viable on DK? So it's like a 3-2-2 instead of a.
I think it's extremely viable on both sides.
Intriguing. Okay. Colt is leading off. I don't know if you guys saw that.
Correct.
Was that was expected?
That was what when I came in and said he's the third guy to start cash games with on DK. We're just waiting for that lineup.
Very good. Kirkwood, play 2 spend up arms in DK Cash, Skubal and DeGrom, and Cuero at catcher, or spend down on one of the arms and get an expensive catcher. Which do you prefer? It is a cash question.
I think you go with the 2 higher price. You don't have to go Skubal, DeGrom. I mean, you could play one of the other higher price guys too, but I think you go with the high priced arms.
Okay. The Grinch says DKGPP, Cheese, Colt Keith, and Trey Sweeney, or Meadroth and Miguel Vargas.
Keith Sweeney.
Okay. Kirkwood, FanDuel GPP, what pitchers would you play? Also, Vargas or Rice in a FanDuel GPP?
I would still say Rice, even though he's going to be popular. I mean, Hunter Green again for FanDuel. He's kind of overpriced there, so he should get even lower ownership than all these guys. So, and FanDuel, you can do a lot with the bats aren't overly expensive, anyways.
Okay. Let's see what else we've got. More questions. DK Cash, Cheese, Jazz, and Cuer. All right, that pronunciation's going downhill real quick. Or Cal and Massey. Did we do that one?
I don't think so.
Okay.
In cash, I would go with the Jazz side.
Okay, very good. Hunter Green or Sanchez, Cheese, from Peter.
Hunter Green.
Chili Chill says a 2-part question for you, Kirkdiese. I'm just going to read it out. Noel V. Marte and Manny Machado, FanDuel GBP. And are you fine with Michael McGreevy in the only 2 lineups I have for FanDuel GPP? Thank you in advance. So
great matchup. So McGreevy, I'm fine with. I don't really love it because he just doesn't strike people out, but quality start should definitely be there for him. And then what was the other question?
I'm not sure. I can't hear anything over my child screaming.
Marte or versus Machado? Machado. Give me Machado.
Geez, is McGreevy your main FanDuel single entry pitcher? Musa asks. There's no way. There's no way. There's no way.
Kinda. Yeah. I don't think he's the best answer, but he is my answer. But the best answer is to spend up to DeGrom or higher.
Okay. All right. The best hitting weather environment tonight, I think it's Yankees is my favorite hitting weather spot from Hoosiers Hang Banners. With that, we are just seconds until lock. See if we got anything else coming in. Pretty good. Rank your favorite Brewers. Who's stacking the Brewers? Anybody? No? Cheese, rank your favorite Brewers anyways.
Andrew Vaughn. And then I don't care at all. I mean, I like the way this team is, it's just a bunch of random weirdos that will score 7 or 8 runs. I don't care. Build the rest of your lineup first and then fill in whatever Brewers are left. I mean, I guess Vaughn and Contreras probably are where you start, but it doesn't matter who you play. I do not have favorite Brewers after Vaughn and sort of Contreras.
Okay, I have the rare double meltdown happening outside with my 2 small children, and we've hit lock, so it is most definitely time for me to get out of here. For Kirkwood, for Cheese, for our wonderful production crew, always working hard behind the scenes. Guys, we appreciate you. We love you, and we will catch you tomorrow. You have been cooked.